is that I will guide you through on the 5 steps. How can we so-called establish AI ready organization, right? The first one is that assess AI readiness index. So this one is the AI Singapore developed the AI readiness index, right? So basically they got the pillars of the organization readiness, ethics and governance, business value, data readiness, and infrastructure readiness. So we need to get ready in all that. And you know that the infrastructure, right? Most of our laptop today, if you bought the laptop last year, likelihood is obsolete. Not AI ready laptop, including your server. Our store is about 200 times faster, the server. So it's quite scary. Almost all the things that you have purchased last year need to be replaced, right? So all these are something that we need to get ready upfront. Not say after you implement, like that, I need to ask another budget. So the readiness means tell you upfront what will happen, right? Like anyone attended the marriage preparation class, or you just get married. I think you just discover along the way. Right? If you discover marriage preparation class, then you know what to do lah. You got conflict, whatever, right, with the spouses. Otherwise, you see what happened lah in the society. So the same thing like AI, right? So we need to get ready and know what will happen when we embrace it. Then of course they got the QR code. You can take a photo there, but yeah, anyway you get the slide and you can view it next time lah, not now. Yeah. Okay. Of course they got the index awareness depending on the where you are, right? So this morning we did the round table. I think as most of us are in the AI aware, and some are the AI ready, right? Mean I'm ready to start because I've been preparing for 6 months. Right? You cannot get ready in just few days or few weeks. You need to think through just not the 7 pillars. Okay? And of course, the next one is develop a strategic AI integration plan. Right? So one, you know your readiness index. So how do I start? Right? First thing first, you need to know whether you have a business architecture. You know what the practice on the business architecture. Okay? Because according to Gartner, right, we need to leverage BA to build AI capability model. Okay, so no shortcut because unlikely you can just buy the tool unless you do R&D lah. You do R&D for fun can, but when you want to implement organization wide, you need to know about your business architecture. Okay. Then of course the next one is on to develop AI strategic plan. We need to make sure that got investment ROI, right? We need to measure our ROI. We need to know our use cases deliver business value outcome, right? Not technology value outcome, but business value outcome. And of course, we need to know about new AI capability, right? You know the capability will impact the people, the business, and also the technology stack, right? And of course, technology also need money. The people need to reskill, upskill, retrain, and the business need to do change management. many things. Yeah. Okay. So let's move on into the number 3, build AI ready architecture, right? Of course, this is the definition of the enterprise architecture. This is by Gartner. So it's the process of translating business vision and strategy into enterprise change. Enterprise change basically is transformation. And also we need to be able to manage the evolution. Especially when we go through the so-called the AI, the rapid development, the rapid technology change. We really need to basically keep track. Okay, we need to know what happened tomorrow, right? We need to do some industry research and you need to anticipate things will change. But of course we can say, hey, if this is the case, I want to wait until it's stable. No, it will never get stable, right? Now the rapid change is getting shorter and shorter. Last time the rapid change maybe every 1 year, 6 months. Now it's almost every day. Okay, so the message here is basically saying that if your organization seldom change, you don't need EA. Firstly, secondly, you don't even need to work there. Why you want to work in an organization that never changes? My boss also got nothing to do. Every day watching Korean drama. Then you stay there, happy. Worry, right? So, enterprise architecture is when you have a rapid change, okay? And of course, the context is that I need some guidance when the change takes place, so that not become chaotic, not become panic. Yeah, that's the concept of the enterprise architecture. Okay, so of course now, how can we get our organization ready? What is typically execution take place during the AI adoption? This is from ISA. ISA come up with the word future casting. Remember just the word imagine? Imagine digital customer, digital business, digital employee, and maximize operation, right? So future casting basically the ability to collect the signal. Where do you get the signal? From the news, from the conference like this, from your community, from the website. So you need to be able to collect the signal, and after that, digest the signal, contextualize to your organization, and after that, predict and go along with the signal. Don't go against the current. That's the message. Not everybody embracing AI. You cannot say, boss, can we postpone the AI adoption to next year? They say, no, immediate, right? But you need to have some sort of a framework, which is the framework of IBM, future casting. Anyone heard about this? This is taught in the typical high level of the management school, right? Future casting it's not something new, but it's something that we need to think, because why? We are going to do evolutionary in terms of our business, our people, our technology. So I need to be able to do future casting. Once you define the future, what will happen? Next one, you need to unbundling your current structure, right? Unbundling the people, unbundling the business, unbundling the technology. How do we do that? We need to know the component inside. If you don't know the component inside, how to unbundle? Like this car, you want to unbundle the car. You pick up the wrong component. You unbundle the gearbox. That's it, the car not moving. You unbundle the wheel, wrong, not moving. You unbundle slowly. What are the things? Then wheel are critical, but when can I unbundling the wheel? You unbundling the wheel means I take out, I replace with a better wheel. Right? You get the concept? Interesting? That's the concept in the Bitabok IBM. Right? That it's amazing the way they think through this future casting and unbundling. No choice. And of course, to do unbundling, if you don't have architecture, no way you can do unbundling. What to this matter? You don't even have the blueprint. Which process I want to unbundle? Ask the boss. Your boss may be working for 30 years. Your boss said, the department, that one when I was younger, before I get married. You ask me the department, I don't know. No, half of the people, I don't know. How to unbundle? Right? So basically, it's the most impossible if you think. Right? We don't have the right hand side the pictures. This one you can imagine, that one cannot. So basically, don't work if you don't have architecture. And of course, the concept on the TOGAF, right? How do we model the TOGAF? Is that TOGAF framework, this is TOGAF 10. I think if you notice, they remove the arrow, so no more waterfall, and everything about agile and digital. Okay, so the concept is that we need to set up the AI goals and strategy, capability, and use cases. So this is basically at the TOGAF percent A and half of the B, right? Understand about stakeholders. Okay. Then after that, we go into the business architecture. We want to know the capability impacted, right? We want to know the business gaps, information gaps, right? The change management that we need to run. Okay. Then the next one, we need to know about our application, about our technology, as well as the information that flow within that impacted area. Right? So this is something that just now talking about unbundling. I need to know this component in my organization. So nobody knows about this. Right? You think like your boss work long enough, they know? They might not know. They have on top of their head, but roughly. But you cannot give the immediate answer. Yeah? And of course, how you execute the project. Right? So how does this work? So how this works is that basically we need to adapt the TOGAF into the AI use cases, AI development. So in the preliminary, basically what you do, you establish AI governance board, right? Then you identify relevant stakeholders and define new AI capability that you're going to develop. Then in the phase A, you identify stakeholder concern, right, for all AI use cases, and then identify problem statement, identify a strategy, right? And then of course look at how the architecture itself can shape the fusion, the vision of organization. They call it AI vision. Then after that, you go into the business architecture, you identify all the gaps that need to change, right? You need to know which one that you need to be unbundled. Okay, that's the word. Okay, if you don't know unbundling, you unbundle the wrong one, game over. Project fail. Okay, but it's still safe, The project fail, none of us will go to the Kajang prison. Okay, still safe, but no good for our record. So we need to make sure which one we need to unbundle, and also we need to know which one I need to unbundle in my information and application. Right, especially removing shadow system, shadow data, etc. And also technology, right? So we need to know this. And of course, when you go into the E, we need to consolidate all the gap to make it AI portfolio. Remember just now the so-called one of the framework TOGAF is that EA to support a strategy and portfolio is taking place in the phase E, right? And then support project is taking place at the migration planning, all the project resources, etc. as well as the execution of the project. So this is where the execution take place when you implement the AI solution. Yeah. And last but not least is on the change management, basically architecture to support solution delivery, basically continuous improvement. Yeah. So all this can be so-called applied using the framework. You cannot just adopt AI just listening to the vendor solution. That doesn't work, especially for your case of the enterprise. But productivity maybe can, right? Subtract another equivalent ChatGPT or Copilot. Alright, so let's go into the implementing AI ethics and governance framework. Right, so typically is that we need to know what are the so-called guide available. Of course, this is a Singapore one. I think Malaysia also have the Malaysia. They got two guide as this morning discussion, right? So you need to make sure that you comply with that, because when you go offering this type of so-called AI to the wider audience, you need to know which one to protect and what is the implication of the legal implication, because everything is about data. Okay, if you're smart enough, you give them the AI. Don't limit the access. They can access all the confidential information in your organization, right? Including some of the restricted information. Yeah. And last but not least, on the foster collaboration and upskill. So basically, we need to look at the people, right? Our people basically talking about our assisting staff, about reskilling, upskilling them, and retraining them, right? So of course, they got a strategy to raise AI skill based on the Gartner. First is that self-study, right? I think many free online course out there, right, that you can embrace. Okay, and then of course, if you have time, you are still young, or maybe you encourage your children study AI lah. Okay, and of course, doing a research, right? They got many research paper, and interestingly, it's easily outdated. So you need to get the fundamental right. Once you get the fundamental right, you read the next one, you can roughly connect. Yeah, and of course, mentorship and coaching. If you can access to the mentor, join AI community or forum like this, and of course, experiment with AI tools, right, to see how it behaves, right? To me, it's an experience is no longer like a human, but it's human without emotion. Okay, so some people who don't like to deal with human, deal with AI. I think you can click well. Okay, you can score them. You can basically give them extra work. Doesn't really matter. They will never fight back. Okay, because they are machine, not human. And of course, participate in AI project, and of course, construct AI business technology use cases. Yeah. Alright, so these are some of the information. I will not be going through the detail, but I think we are going to offer this course maybe end of the year or early next year. This is just released in May, but I can imagine this course need to be updated, refreshed every month. Okay, I mean 20% on the technology related sample, because all change very fast. The fundamentals still the same, right? Like just now you heard from Mr. Xu. You know how old is he? 30 years ago he studied university. 30 or 40 years ago? 40 years ago he studied in the university. Some of us not even reaching the age of 40, right? So it's our great-grandfather. Okay? Alright, this is my last slide, right? You heard about this news? Yes, so many bad news, right? Is that true? Well, if this is true, the company is shrinking, but they keep hiring. So something alright somewhere, right? So this is something like in the typical organization behavior, is that we need to refresh. Some of the employees are not at the right time, right competency, and right job. Okay, so they need to so-called do this type of exercise, but I don't think because of the victim of AI, because they're still hiring massively, right? And of course, all this, I think Microsoft, IBM, etc. And after, I'm not sure whether you have seen these pictures on the right hand side. No, Alice fired in 2025, right? Because of the AI, blame AI, fire her, and next year get 5 times salary. How can we become like Alice? If ever happen, touch wood, not happening, but if happen, we want to be like that, isn't it? Can see on the right hand side? This year, asked to leave, next year he hire back with a 5-time negotiated salary. What is the question mark? This is the answer. Embrace AI with EA. And this is my last deck, and just remember, AI is just another human being, so we need to make sure that we can control and tame that AI. If you are below that AI, I cannot help you. But I don't think we are that bad. It's created by human. It's not created by God. Right? So we should be able to be at par or higher. Okay? So with that, I think you should enjoy the rest of the session.